Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're back in Swiss. Wow, this is a kind of crazy pack. Look at all the removal we've got, and we've got Thing in the Ice and Welcome to the Fold. That's kind of crazy. Thing in the Ice is, I think, actually worth something. Let's see if it is. It's only worth a ticket. Well, I mean, I think my gut instinct would be to take the Fiery Temper, but maybe we try and make the... I really do want to make the Spells deck one of these days. I guess it's a Swiss draft, so we can try it out. Thing in the Ice is definitely a good card for that. We're going to want Rise from the Tides. Actually, Welcome to the Fold would be a great card for that deck, too. Yeah, I mean, don't really like blue, but all right. I guess if we're in Swiss, we'll try something interesting. So we're going to try for the Spells deck. Basically, to make the Spells deck work, we're going to need... If we don't get Rise from the Tides, we're just going to need Pyre Hounds. But I'll try and force the red-blue Spells deck. I feel like I've done so many drafts and I haven't shown that deck yet, so I guess why not? I actually don't think it's one of the best decks in the format, but it's an interesting one, and it's fun to play, and it's fun to watch. So Fevered Visions would be the pick if we want to make that Spells deck work. Hopefully Wheel the Gone Missing, which is fine in that deck as well. Other really good cards in here, like Topplegeist and Inspector, but we'll take the Fevered Visions. We'll try and make the Spells deck work. All right, Dance with Devils is a great card for that deck. This is one of the premium cards. This is a great card in general. Very good with Thing in the Ice as well. So I'm fine taking that. And wow, Passing Dauntless Cathar too. That's all right. You guys want to see an interesting deck? It's Swiss. We'll try and make it happen, all right? Here's a Pyre Hound. There is Altered Ego, though, which is really good. Altered Ego is a very strong card, and I guess we could still splash it. Pyre Hound is kind of one of the cards you really... One of the more important cards for this deck, though. So I think we're going to try and focus on the blue-red spells. If we end up with Rise from the Tides, this deck could get crazy. If we don't, Pyre Hound is still a very good alternate win con alongside Thing in the Ice, so that'll be good. Altered Ego would probably be an okay pick here, too. This card is very strong. We're going to take Pyre Hound. We're going to try and make the... At this point, we're off to actually a pretty good start for the Spells deck. All right, I guess we take Reckless Scholar. If you can't... Otherwise, it's Deny Existence, which is a spell, but Reckless Scholar is actually a really good blue card, so we're going to want one of those. Little Madness Enabler. So, yeah, like I said, I haven't made this deck in a draft video yet. I've done it on stream many, many times. I can talk about it briefly. Basically, the whole point of the deck is you want a lot of spells, and then you just want to tempo your opponent so you're keeping them off of their pace of beating you down. And then eventually you get to the point where you can play a Rise from the Tides and just have like 12 zombies and they can't kill you in one shot. So you're ready to... Ooh, Geist Blast is a great pickup for that deck. Really important card for the red-blue spells deck. Huge pickup for us there. This deck's actually coming together pretty nicely. Like I said, if we get Rise from the Tides, this deck could potentially be nuts. So yeah, the whole point is bounce. So here's the components that are necessary for this deck to succeed. We need draw card spells, so like Catalog, Tormenting Voice, Pieces of the Puzzle. The great thing about those 3 card draw spells, they are not highly desirable, so you can pick them up super late, which is great. That's, like I said, one of the strengths of this deck. Even Nagging Thoughts. There's a Stitchwing Scab, but the whole point of this deck is we got to focus on spells. So I think I'm going to take a Nagging Thoughts over the Scrutiny here. Although Scrutiny is maybe a more highly desirable. And there's Tormenting Voice. All the card draw in here, which is good. I mean, no problem there. Is Tormenting Voice better than Nagging? I actually don't know. Maybe we actually want the Scrutiny now that I think about it. Because Scrutiny still draws you a card, but a little more inefficiently. I think I do take Scrutiny here, though. I think I can pick up Nagging Thoughts and Tormenting Voices later. All right, Silent Observer is actually a fine card for the deck. Harness of Storms is actually kind of cool, but I'm not going to do it. It's just a little bit too deep. But Silent Observer is a good card for this deck. All right, I'm okay running Sleep Paralysis. Tormenting Voice might be more important, though. You really don't want Sleep Paralysis because it doesn't feed your Pyre Hound. It doesn't feed your Thing in the Ice. So I think we're actually going to take Tormenting Voice. Tormenting Voice is a pretty good one because it's 2 mana, too. Sleep Paralysis is a catch-all, but we're more interested in bounce. So we're looking for... All right, we'll take the Gone Missing here. But yeah, we're more interested in Just the Wind, which is a great card for this deck. We're just cutting blue. I guess we'll hate this. Compelling Deterrence. Both of those cards are very important for this deck because you basically just need to survive long. All right, we'll take the Deny Existence. You can run one of these in here. All right, we're making the spells deck happen, so that's good news. And this is the first time I've gotten to build one with the Thing in the Ice. I think the good news is if anybody opens Rise from the Tides, I feel like we're pretty much guaranteed to get it. There's really only like 2 decks that can properly utilize that deck, and Blue-Red Spells is the best one, of course. But I've seen it in like Blue-Black with just a lot of spells. And it can work in there. I don't think it's very good outside of Blue-Red Spells, but in Blue-Red Spells it definitely shines. I've also seen this deck be able to do white as well, which is cool. You can run cards like Purge. The coolest little synergy I saw was you get to 10 mana, and you can cast Rise from the Tides, and then you can Tenacity. So you can still block, which is really cool. But we're going to take Fiery Temper here because it's one of the essential spells for our deck. It needs to protect us. So, like I said about this deck, I wouldn't say it's the best deck in the format, but it is a very fun deck, and it can be very powerful if all the pieces come together. And there are, like I said, the bounce, the draw, the card draw, and then the finishers, the Pyre Hound, the Rise from the Tides, the Thing in the Ice. So if you can get all of those pieces to come together, it's very good. Well, could take the Mythic. I mean, he's still good. He still can put someone away. Otherwise, we're taking Dual Shot. Maybe we likely wheel that. Catalog would be a good wheel, or Reduced Ashes. But we'll take the Mythic dude. He's fine. He's another big finisher. He's efficiently costed. I don't see why not. I think we're probably going to end up with enough spells, so might as well take the Mythic. Okay, Sanguinary Mage is actually a good card for this deck. We don't really care if someone plays Fleeting Memories against us, I guess, right? Because they'll probably just... Well, we need Rise from the Tides, I guess, for it to feed us, but Sanguinary Mage is just a good card. Uncaged Fury is playable in here, but not exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for good things that block, and... Well, here's a Manic Scribe, but I think we're going to take the Sanguinary Mage. It's a late Purge. Could try and splash Purge, make the 3-color version of this deck work, which, like I said, is possible. Purge is definitely a strong card. We're probably just going to take the Mage, though. These cards are very good in this deck. You just get a lot of instants and sorceries, and you get a nice little defense set up. Okay, second Pyre Hound or Catalog. If we don't end up with Rise from the Tides, I'm going to want a lot of ways to win. Here's the Tenacity we were looking for. We'll take the second Pyre Hound. All right, Geist Blast number 2 is a really nice pickup for us. This card is pretty ideal for this deck since we're actually, blue-red. All right, we'll take a first Sleep Paralysis. That's all right. So let's do a spell count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we only have 8 instants and sorceries at the moment. The ideal number is about 12 or 13 minimum. I do think it's fairly easy to get there, especially when we start wheeling some cards. But that's about the number you want to be at. And we've already got more than enough creatures. I just wanted to make sure we get a couple Pyre Hounds. Because like I said, the Rise from the Tides might not come together, so you just want to make sure you've got the tools necessary to win. I guess Rancid Rats maybe could be annoying. It's not really that annoying, I guess. We have the removal for it. It can kill our Pyrohound, though, so maybe we do take care of it. You got to get a lot of legwork out of these Pyrohounds. Alright, we don't need any of these cards, so I guess we'll just hate another Rats. Revenant's a little bit annoying too, isn't it? But I think Rats is still more annoying because of the, like I said, killing our Pyrohound is going to be a problem. Okay, here we take Catalog, which is actually a very valuable card for the deck, so you usually want to run like 5 or 6. I guess we'll hate the Fleeting Memories. Cyberlin Snapper's playable in here, but we're already very good on creatures, so I don't care about Vessel of Paramnesia. I guess we'll just take the foil card. But yeah, you just want all sorts of card draw effects. So currently we only have Tormenting Voice, Catalog, and Fevered Visions, and I guess Reckless Scholar, but that's not really, it's kind of card draw. So this deck still needs bounce effects. That's a very essential, I can't really overstate how essential the bounce effects are for this deck, because you need to keep them off of their early plays. Thankfully, we have, I guess, a little bit of defense we can do early. So even though I think we can wheel the pieces of the puzzle, it's essentially the only card we need here. Otherwise, I guess I could hate a Pack Guardian and then just wheel the pieces of the puzzle, but I'm just going to take pieces. I mean, the chances of not wheeling it are probably pretty low that we don't wheel it, but it's just exactly what our deck needs, and it's our first one, so I think we're just going to take it. Even though, like I said, there's a pretty high chance it wheels. Isn't this worth tickets? I feel like Relentless Dead is worth like 2 tickets. Yeah, it is. It's worth close to 3. So as much as I want the Just the Win, I'm going to take 2.63 tickets here. This is a Swiss draft, after all. Keep that in mind. Just the Win would have been pretty ideal for us. So we could take Reduce. I think we're actually just going to take a second Catalog. Although there's 13 cards left. Maybe we wheel the... What's our removal currently? Temper, Double Geist Blast. Dance with Devils is kind of removal. Sleep Paralysis, although might not want to end up with that. I think we maybe wheel the Catalog. Let's take the Reduce. I think we're more likely to wheel the Catalog than the Reduce. I'm pretty sure that's true. Let's see here. So we can, I guess, take a third Sanguinary Mage. Yeah, that's all right. So first, I should start thinking about what I want to cut. I prefer to not play Deny Existence, but at this point we're trying to upgrade non-instant and sorcery spells with better spells. So it could be something like Sleep Paralysis not making the deck. All right, we're taking the second pieces here. It's a nice card for us, like I said. I guess we can take a second Reckless Scholar over the Drowned Yard Explorer. Scholar's pretty powerful, so probably upgrade our Silent Observer. I don't think we need the Observer as much. We've got, I think we've got everything we need. It is a good blocker, but we've got great early blockers. So we're fine. I mean, Sleep Paralysis is fine. It's just not what we're looking for. I guess I can take Broken Concentration. Maybe that's better with double Reckless Scholar. It's probably a Deny Existence upgrade. And like I said, I just do not need any more creatures. We're already good on creatures. Let's just get another spell here. And maybe we just cut the Sleep Paralysis at this point. I'm going to take the second Tormenting Voice. And probably cut... well, what are we cutting for that? I don't know yet. Probably a creature. We'll just take the Tormenting Voice. You can't really... I might be building this one incorrectly now because we just don't have the Rise from the Tides. This is a lot better when you have Rise from the Tides, but we look good. This is probably playable, but just hate this, I guess. Actually, I guess, no, Essence Flux isn't that good at buy around. You have to reset it, which doesn't seem good. Veteran Cathar is a good card. That's a late one. So we did wheel the catalog, kind of as expected. So did not end up with Rise from the Tides. Sadly, this would have been a really, really sweet deck if that had come together. But it's not a huge deal. We still have all the we still have two pretty powerful win cons. Double Pyrehound. Both of those will steal a game in just a matter of a couple turns. I guess we also have Wolf of Devil's Breach, which I assume I've played with it and I've won with it before. Can steal games. And then Thing in the Ice, which is new to me, but this is the optimal deck for it. So removal wise, I guess we're not doing great, but we have a sleep paralysis we can bring in if we have to, which is good. And we have Double Geist Blast, Fiery Temper. Guess we have a couple counter spells, which I'm willing to try. And we have a Gone Missing and a Reduced Ashes. So we have removal. We can't deal with everything, but... And we passed a bounce spell for 2.63 tickets, which I don't really regret. I think because it's Swiss, you want to sort of recoup some of what you pay in. But that would have been, that definitely would have made the deck too. So no bounce effects could be a little bit costly for us, but it's not that bad. It's all right. So we need to make probably 2 cuts. I could try and get away with 16 lands, I guess. But I have double Reckless Scholar, so I'm not super concerned about that. Let's do a spell count, and then that'll give me a good idea. This is also kind of a creature. Like I said, Dance with Devils is like probably one of the best non-creature spells in this deck. I love Dance with Devils in basically any red deck, but this is the best deck for it. So it just gets like twice as powerful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. So we can actually afford to cut a couple spells, especially since we don't have Rise from the Tides. But the pieces are very good. I mean, Fevered Visions is just cool card. Let's cut non-removal spells. Because I think we probably don't need this many draw card effects. I mean, currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways to draw cards, which is a lot. Even if you count the investigate spells, they replace themselves at least. Oh yeah, I didn't even do the count right. We really have 15 spells because of Dance with Devils, so just dual purpose. This deck looks fun. No bounce effects I think is gonna cost us ultimately, but I guess we can mount a little early defense with the Sanguinary Mage, so we've got that going for us, which is nice. Let's see. And like I said, Geist Blast lets us copy some spells in this deck, which is really strong. Like if we copy a Reduce for 8 mana, that can totally happen in a deck like this. Copy a Dance with Devils for 7. I've done that. It's very, very strong. For some reason, I kind of want both of our counter spells in this deck, but especially the Broken Concentration. I'd like to Madness it one of these days. That would be cool. So maybe we cut one catalog. Maybe we actually cut one Sanguinary Mage, but they are pretty important for buying time. And no Rise from the Tides makes all of this card draw a little bit worse. Not like terrible, but a little bit less of what we're trying to do. Just a little bit, though. So we still have 14 spells. We could cut one more spell and be fine with 13 spells, or we could cut a Sanguinary Mage, but I still feel like these guys are probably a little bit important for protecting us early, especially since we don't have any bounce. Being able to instant speed spells and like pump them is huge. So you don't really want to cut instants, but I don't want to cut any of our sorceries. I could actually cut the Gone Missing. I'm kind of thinking I cut Gone Missing. It's not that great for our deck. And then we stay busy earlier. Gone Missing's okay. I don't really like it all that much. So I think we're going to cut the Gone Missing. It's cool. I'd rather have Reduce. I think Reduce is going to be a lot better. I think people tend to forget that this deals with like Near Heath Chaplain, Dauntless Cathar in pretty spectacular fashion. This looks good. We have like 13 spells still. That's not, not including 13 instants and sorceries, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. 13 is a good number. It's a good portion. We should be able to get Thing in the Ice pretty consistently. The Pyrehounds will get big pretty consistently. Reckless Scholar is even more card draws if our deck did not have enough. So this looks cool. This looks fun. I don't know how confident I feel about winning with this deck, but this is a fun deck, and our curve ended up very nice. So we could probably get away with 16 lands. I just don't think it's necessary because we have the Scholars to sort of filter us. We're getting Fevered Visions, and we do actually want to get a relatively high... We want to get our mana up there a little bit because Geist Blast copying stuff later is going to be important. Like, copying Dance with Devils or Reduce to Ashes could be huge. Or even Fiery Temper. So, rating on this deck. This one's probably a C- version of the deck. Maybe just a C because we have the Pyrehounds and the Thing in the Ice. Rise from the Tides would have put this probably in B territory. And then if we had the Rise from the Tides and the Bounce, this would probably definitely be A territory if we had both of those components. But we are missing those components, which weakens the build. And one was through my fault because I took 2.63 tickets over a Just the Wind, which is like one of the ideal cards for this deck, but I cannot resist. Let's do 9-8 because we want the double blue relatively early for that Broken Concentration. I think that's relevant. How does Thing you have to do it? Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, remove an ice counter. If it has no ice counters, so you don't get... Unfortunately, you can't, you may remove an ice counter. Not that that's a huge deal, but if you could control it, it would be pretty ideal, because then you could just, instant speed whenever you wanted to flip it and bounce everything. Too bad this is not an Elemental Hound Horror, Elemental Wolf Horror. I don't believe we have any other horror creatures in the deck, unfortunately. Stitchwing Scab is actually, I think, a zombie horror. But yes, this is the deck. We're going to run it like this. Hope you enjoy this, folks. This is a fun archetype in the format, one of the more fun ones. And I feel a lot better about doing it in Swiss because we at least get a few opportunities to kind of showcase it. So enjoy the draft. We'll see you round one.